Hello Scrollgers, Smogan here with a Scrollscast video actually from the ESL Tournament today. I'm not actually sure where in this tournament we are. I just sort of hopped on and found a match between Magpieman and futboleddy. I know they're a part of the ESL Showdown, but I'm not sure if they're far along in the brackets or not. Looks like Magpieman is playing a growth mid-range deck and futboleddy playing some sort of ranged mid-ranged energy deck. Has some Gravelocks in there, it looks like. Magpieman responds to the turn 2 Hired Smuggler with the turn 2 Kinfolk Brave. Sorry, I need to change my settings every single game due to a bug. futboleddy does have a 3-drop to place in front of his Hired Smuggler to save it, and it's that Forge, and he moves the Smuggler down behind it into safety. Nog Nest ticks down to 1. Magpieman has a Kinfolk Brave ready to attack. Doesn't have enchantments to break it up high enough to kill the Forge, but will be content to move to the middle and play probably Brother of the Wolf in front, and he does indeed. So that will allow him to get a little bit of idle damage, but futboleddy will be able to draw a structure scroll off of his Hired Smuggler. Has Thunder Surge in hand, Uhu Longnose as well. The Longnose is going to come down in front of the Smuggler, maintaining control of the bottom of the board. Magpieman has the top 4 under control. That Nog Nest does spawn 2 Nogs. They go up and down. Crimson Bull and Ragged Wolf in hand. One will need to be sacrificed. Probably that Crimson Bull. I would guess he would want to keep the creature in hand. And he does indeed find Stagheart, and Great Wolf unfortunately doesn't have a strong play this turn. He does just go ahead and Stagheart his Brave, which is really risky. He didn't have anything else to do, but really risky if futboleddy is able to find a burn to take that out for the 3-for-1 is what that would be. And he does move down, so it looks like he's ready to threaten futboleddy's position. Let's see if he can top deck that burn. He doesn't have it yet. Magpieman has to be worried that that's what's hiding in futboleddy's hand. He's going to have to sacrifice something, maybe, well, I'd keep the Potion of Resistance, maybe the Hired Smuggler, or maybe the second Forge. Potion of Resistance can really shut down this entire offensive. Does get rid of the Smuggler, goes for just resources rather than for scrolls, so he doesn't give himself the out to draw the burn, but he's content to play the Forge with a Potion in front. Actually, he plays the Potion on the old Forge. I probably would have played the new Forge up to the top and stayed behind that old Forge. As he's positioned now, he's probably going to be able to kill a Nog out of this, but that's about it. He's sacrificing this card, which isn't awful, I suppose, to get that, to basically be able to kill a Nog with that counterattack is all he's going to be able to do. He will be able to spawn 1 gun auto out of this structure. Magpieman probably wants to get that Great Wolf in hand, but he's thinking if a rally play could get him anywhere, he could spawn a wolf, go up to 5, and then rally. And it looks like, is that what he's going to do? It is. So he does spawn a wolf, go up to 5, and rally. So that will let him not quite kill the Uhu, but get it down to 1 as things stand right now. And things come crashing in. So the Brother of the Wolf takes down the Forge. A little bit of idle damage to the middle, and Uhu dropped to 1 health. Lockling Brew pulled. Thunder Surge is going to be cast here, though. That's going to wreck some havoc. So that will kill the just the Nog kill that we were predicting, or that I was predicting, into quite a few more creatures killed. So well done by futboleddy. But he is working on an empty hand right now. Magpieman has a pretty strong hand. He can go Nog Nest and Earthborn Mystic, or he can drop a Great Wolf. A couple of choices. But futboleddy is still ahead on board a little bit. That Great Wolf comes down, and the Kinfolk Brave crashes in and finishes off the Uhu. Gravelock Guard pulled from the top, immediately sacrificed Sudden Eruption and Gravelock Raider. He could Sudden Eruption and it'll take 2 units down and hope for the best, but it looks like he's just going to pump out Gun Auto and be content with that. Still has a Potion on that Forge, moves his other units behind it. Gun Auto will come up and suck up a little bit of this damage. Ooh, Kinfolk Veteran. If this, man, this Potion of Resistance really is huge in this matchup. If not for that, then Magpieman can get some great advantage off of those cards. What he could do here, well, he could rumble and hope for the best. That would just be an RNG play, hoping that that works out. What he might do, he did sacrifice the Nog Nest, but just kind of move up and reestablish control over the top part of the board and let futboleddy have it down here for now. He could take out that middle idol and put a ton of pressure up north. Alternatively, he could try to use that Veteran. I don't know what it would really do. He would just maybe be setting up for next turn's play. because he could maybe move that Great Wolf down and then have quite a bit crashing in towards the bottom. But how long until that potion? I think just one more round on that potion. So next turn, Magpieman will be able to get through it. But he's risking a counterattack by futboleddy, any number of tricks and out of his hand, another Thunder Surge. It does look like he is going to just go ahead and move up and finish off that top idol. He does play a veteran down to take out the free gun auto that was spawned. And that Great Wolf maintains his spot in the middle. It puts Magpie at risk of a Thunder Surge crashing in and dealing a little bit extra damage, but it does make it very difficult for futboleddy to move up and do something about this Kinfolk veteran. But it does look like he decided that the Thunder Surge was not worth the risk, so he moves the Great Wolf up, so that will allow futboleddy to take out the Kinfolk veteran. That was actually a pretty big play, and maybe the right one, maybe the wrong one. It really is a gamble without knowing your opponent's hand. What we can see is that futboleddy does not have that Thunder Surge, at least yet. So he is thankful to see the Great Wolf move up. He does have Sudden Eruption. He could go up to 7 and hit 3 of his opponent's units at random, probably take out the Kinfolk Brave. It's very unlikely that it wouldn't, and would set him up to potentially draw a scroll off the Hired Smuggler if that Kinfolk veteran gets hit. So that's probably the play I would make, is to go ahead and try the Sudden Eruption. I'm not sure what would be a bad outcome for that. Maybe, well, it looks like he is not going to risk it. He does tick down the Forge twice. Still needs to sacrifice for scrolls or resources, though. He could go up to 7, and that would let him play out the Gravelock Raider at 1 cost. And then maybe next turn go up to 8 for the big Sudden Eruption. Looks like that's maybe what he's going to do here. Gravelock Raider comes down. Kinfolk Veteran will be destroyed. Gun auto spawns with the clever placement of the Raider up to protect the other 2 units. And another opportunity for Magpieman to swing in and deal some damage. He has Mangy Wolf, not really doing much. Rumble probably wouldn't do all that much. Maybe just continue moving up and pressuring these idols. Make futboleddy chase you to the top. With the way the Great Wolf was positioned in that Mangy Wolf in hand, oh, it looks like he is totally going all in. Magpieman likes to do this when he senses blood in the water. He just goes for idols. So with that 10 damage from that Crimson Bowl, he can move up and take down the second idol and put futboleddy at serious risk. But instead, it looks like he's splitting the damage a little bit. He's going to drop a Brave as well, maybe move the Nog up too, and put 5 damage on both of these idols. So that's going to make it so futboleddy needs to defend both of those idols as best he can. Nog stays in the middle, not worried about Fury. Kinfolk Brave comes down as well. Lots of damage coming in. futboleddy needs to, as quickly as possible, get some stuff up there because he's 2 turns from defeat. He does have that Sudden Eruption. He does have it. If he goes up to 8, he can guarantee himself to kill all but the Great Wolf, and that's what he does. So that takes out most of Magpieman's army, and futboleddy is going to continue to move up. But with that Mangy Wolf in hand, Magpieman should still be able to get some good damage on one of these idols if he wants to. I don't know that that's worth it here, though. But with that play, and with the way things are positioned, Magpieman can't really move to that second row even because of all this attack that's coming in. He could maybe Kinfolk Veteran to take out the top gun auto, but then he's just going to lose, well, a lot of stuff. So that's the risk of going for the idols, is you can see how just 1 turn of going for idols puts you behind on board, especially when your opponent has powerful removal like Sudden Eruption, one of the strongest spells in the game. Magpieman does continue to pressure. He plays the Mangy Wolf. He drops an Earthborn Mystic behind. Great Wolf gets in, drops the top idol to 1. futboleddy finds a Thunder Surge, but will need to sacrifice it probably. He could go ahead and play it, but it doesn't get any kills. Finds, a Sudden Eruption again, so he's able to deal more damage to all these units. futboleddy still needs to get up and defend these idols because a rallying or something like that could just end the game, so he needs to put his units up there. Has Gravelock Elder in hand, so he needs to choose between them. Maybe Elder and then spawn a gun auto. He could Sudden Eruption, but maybe wait till next turn for that Sudden Eruption is probably what I would do. Since he's not going to be able to actually kill anything yet, use it as a surprise, and it looks like that's what he's going to do. He is punting that top idol for now, putting all of his defense on the second row, leaves the 4th row undefended. It would take quite a lot for Magpieman to get in there, but potentially critically, Football Eddie forgot to spawn that gun auto. He didn't pump his remaining 3 energy into the forge, so that's 1 gun auto short that he could have had. Magpieman has a veteran and a ragged wolf. That's 4 hasty damage. He would love another mangy wolf here to get that relentless in. Doesn't have it though. Kinfolk veteran comes down. That'll take out a gun auto. Now he can move his units behind. But no, he keeps them up to the top, holds the ragged wolf in hand, knows that Football Eddie can't afford to retreat to the middle lane. He's got to stay where he's at. Stormrunner machinated in hand doesn't have the bombard. If he did, that would be absolutely devastating. Magpieman's entire board would be wiped out. Doesn't have the bombard though. He can still go for the sudden eruption, but it looks like he's just going to play out some more units, drops a forge in front, makes it tougher for Magpieman to get in to kill all of these units. Maybe Stormrunner played in the middle. I'd like to see him, if he doesn't play anything in this middle, drop this gun auto back, because it's another critical 2 damage that he needs to get over there, and currently it's blocked by the placement of that forge. He moves his Elder up to the middle, and then Stormrunner played in its spot. So he doesn't have a Machinator to go with that, but maybe he's counting on drawing it. Note that he does have Gravelock Raider ready to attack next turn. That's super powerful with Machinator. That would be 7 relentless damage coming in. Magpieman finds a Rumble, pitches a Striped Fangbear, and he finds another Rallying as well. What can he do here? With that Rallying Ragged Wolf, he could have 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 hasty damage, I think is the cap that he could do there, which would clear that middle row, is what I see. If he plays a Ragged Wolf and moves the Great Wolf down and the Earthborn Mystic down. With the haste, or with the Rallying, that would bring the Kinfolk Veteran into play. Instead, he goes for a Rumble. What's going to happen here? Just crazy stuff all over the place. I need a moment to process this. He can still move that Great Wolf down. With the Ragged Wolf played, he could clear out both of those. And then he would have 5 damage to take out the Forge. So with that, and look at how the Elder and the gun auto moved down out of threat range. So that was actually a really nice rallying by Magpieman. It worked out pretty well. Looks like he is going to move some things around. Doesn't keep the Mangy Wolf up. So actually it looks like he's going completely for that middle idol. He could still draw a scroll off the Earthborn Mystic, maybe find a Stagheart. Plays out the Terran Brute behind, so he lets the Automaton Forge survive for another round. Goes ahead and draws, and it is a Stagheart, and then the Wolf damage comes in, clears the second row, and deals a touch of idle damage. Whew, okay. That was big. Football Eddie needs to draw scrolls and see if he can find maybe Bombard, because Bombard Machinator would do some serious work with that Stormrunner. Would like to have one more ranged unit up there, but they all got rumbled down, unfortunately. Gravelock Raider probably is the sacrifice here. If he finds Bombard, he could do something with it. Otherwise, he could go for Sudden Eruption, but it doesn't kill anything. Finds a burn off the sacrifice. No Bombard. I actually haven't seen any Bombards. I just assume they're in the deck, but they might not be with all the Gravelocks that we're seeing. Burn takes out the Kinfolk Veteran. Lockling Brood comes off the top. Let's see, maybe he plays the Brood behind. Brood's pretty darn good against Growth. There's not a whole lot other than Staghearts in Magpieman's deck that can take out that Brood. Of course, he does have one in hand, but a 5/5 Brood is played down, so that will require an answer from Magpieman. Note that I think Magpieman still has Rallying in hand. Football Eddie doesn't know that, and there's not really much he can do about it. Culling the Flock as well. Holy cow, we might see a Rallying Culling play here for the win. Let's see here. So if he plays out Ragged, he would have to go up to 7, sacrifice the Stagheart up to 7, Rallying, Culling the Flock on that Terrain Brute would pump the Great Wolf up to, I believe, 8 relentless damage, which is just a tremendous number. The Mangy Wolf would go up to 6, so that would be kill the Forge and then take out the entire top row is what I see there. I don't think it would get to the idol, and I think he would only deal 2 damage to this back idol, so it wouldn't end the game, but it would be pretty darn devastating. We could also see a couple of other plays, maybe Ragged Wolf Rallying, that would not trigger the Brute. It would be 1 away. Stagheart actually is played to take down the Lockling Brood. Still on 4 resources and hasn't sacrificed yet, so could still see a Rallying play here. Does go up to 5, and here's that Rallying. Okay, what are we going to do here? Stormrunner is ready to attack next turn. Everything moves up to the top, so that will clear out that top row. 2, and then, yep, that'll be just enough to take out the Storm Runner. And the Terrain Brute will probably attack next turn when the Ragged Wolf comes down. Football Eddie. What are you going to do here? So I'm thinking it isn't a Bombard deck. Not a lot of Bombards in here. Instead, using the Lockling Broods and the other Gravelocks. Probably has Fury in there somewhere. Does move the Gravelocks up. No Fury in hand yet. If he does find Fury, that combos so well with the Lockling Broods. Maybe he plays out the Freak, or maybe a Potion of Resistance on the Gun Auto. Really interesting situation here. Lockling Brood comes down behind. Gravelock Guard comes up to defend the 1 health idol. Potion of Resistance as well. So he is going to make it very difficult for Magpieman to get in and clear this lane. With that Potion of Resistance, there's really nothing other than Rumble that would allow Magpieman to get through all that. Terrain Brute in hand. Sacrifices it, finds Great Wolf, and still has Ragged Wolf and a Vader. Vader's not very useful. Note that Football did take down the middle idol, so he could theoretically make a push for idol damage if Magpieman falls asleep at the wheel at all. No way to count down anything but the Terrain Brute, so he could maybe use that to kill off the guard. But these 3 units are almost certainly going to attack next turn. I don't think there's anything that Magpieman can do about that. So that is going to be a ton of damage coming in. So how does he position to defend his units? That's what he needs to be thinking about now. He really wants that Great Wolf to survive to next round. Really critical that it does. Earthborn Mystic moves down. Great Wolf actually moves to the front, so he is not prioritizing the survival of that wolf. Ragged Wolf comes down, so that'll count down, and then another Great Wolf as well. So it looks like Magpieman is just okay losing. His 6/3 Relentless Great Wolf acknowledges that there's nothing he can do to save it, and manages to take out the top idol. Note the other 6 attack wolf down below, so he's sort of opened to 2 lanes of attacking here. 2 Gravelock Freaks and a Sudden Eruption in hand. We might see that Sudden Eruption come down right now. Looks like he's going up to 9 to play it. It's going to hit 5 units. Hits everything but the Earthborn Mystic in back. So that's going to let Football Eddie take out whatever 3 units he wants here. He has a lot of control over what dies. He'll take out the Great Wolf and the Earthborn Mystic assuredly, and then I suppose can't quite get to the Brute as well, but he can take out the about to attack Mangy Wolf. So he can basically clear Magpieman's board, all except for 2 admittedly strong units. So very powerful use of the Sudden Eruption there. Magpieman needs to find a way to reestablish his offense. Vader the Wilds aren't going to do it. Vader the Wilds aren't going to do it. 3 Vaders in 2 turns. That's really unfortunate. And a Nognest as well. Nognest is great early in the game. Vader the Wild great early in the game. Neither are going to be effective now. At least the Nognest can defend the Great Wolf down here. And the Vader will be played to defend the Terrain Brute, but he'll save the other one in hand to sacrifice next turn, making the best of a bad situation. Machinated in hand, Gravelock Freak as well, needs to pick one of these powerful scrolls to sacrifice. Alright, Eddie, what are you going to do here? He does go ahead and get rid of the Gravelock, keeping the Machinated, finds Uhu and a Fury. So with Fury Machinated, can't quite win. I see him getting 7 damage on the bottom idol, and taking out the top idol is the best he could do. So he could drop this idol to 1, which would put Magpieman in a really rough spot. But Football Eddie needs to be so careful. 1 misplay. Magpieman could be packing Godhand in here, could be packing Rally Crimson Bull combo. He doesn't know about the Culling of the Flock, but anything like that could win the game out of nowhere with this relentless damage. So Football Eddie needs to play very conservatively, while at the same time putting himself in position to pull a win out of nowhere with the Fury Machinated combo. He probably wishes he had a Spark or something like that, or of course a Burn. He does go ahead and Fury now, so that will let I think the Great Wolf was going to attack anyway, and that'll allow Football Eddie to kill off everything on top, as well as the Nognest. And it looks like all of the idols are defended. It's going to take 15 damage, I think, for Magpieman to get through everything. 15 is the minimum. Finds a Crimson Bull and a Striped Fangbear and a Mangy Wolf. It's not a lot. Not a lot. He can get the Fangbear out. Probably needs to save the Mangy Wolf. He could go ahead and Crimson Bull to take out the Forge, perhaps. And it looks like that's what he's going to do. He moves down, takes out the Forge before it can spawn a gun. Football Eddie finds a Storm Runner. Still has that Machinated in hand. So if he finds any more damage buffs or any countdown reduction, this is going to be game. Oh, he sacrificed the Machinated. I was thinking he might play that on the Uhu and with the right draw take out this top idol, but chooses not to. Keeps the Storm Runner. Violent Dispersal takes out the Bear. Uhu comes down. He'll kill the Great Wolf, and then Storm Runner or Gravelock Guard will come down. I'd like to see maybe that Storm Runner come and just continue to put a ton of pressure on football or on Magpieman's position. Note the Lockling Brood did move up, and it's going to deal 5 damage to that top idol. Gravelock Guard comes down to guard the about to attack units. Magpieman finds himself in dire straits. He needs a lot right here, and I don't know that Growth Decks can quite come back from this position. No mass removal other than Quake, and Quake does approximately nothing in this situation. Brother the Wolf, Mangy Wolf, this is going to be game. So Magpieman sees that there's nothing he can do and goes ahead and concedes. This has been a really fun match to watch. You saw Magpieman's early game, or I guess it was mid-game decision to move up and attack those top idols. He was about like 1 or 2 damage away from finding lethal. Couldn't quite find it. futboleddy is able to crawl back into the game and wins the game. Well done by both players. This has been Smogan with Scrollscast. Thank you for watching and have yourself a wonderful scroll day.